Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So here we're going to do a complete walkthrough and breakthrough of the Cambridge IGCSE paper. In particular, this is from the October-November 2018 sitting. And this is paper 2 but variant 1. So if you're not sure which one this is, always check the script at the end. You'll have various ones which could be 21, 22 and 23. So always check your region, but I personally recommend that you do every single version. Okay? But anyway, without further ado, let's go straight in. Alright, first question. So Carlos starts work at 21:20 and finishes at 06:15 the next day. Calculate how long Carlos is at work. Now this one is very straightforward. All you simply need is a number line, and the best way to go about this is to always calculate the time to the next hour, and then to midnight, and then to 6, and then finally 6:15. So let's do this, yeah? So from here we're at 21:20. To go to the next hour would be 2200, and that takes exactly 40 minutes. And then from 2200, let's go to midnight, which is 0000. And remember, there's always a 24-hour clock, so this takes 2 hours. Then we go from this to 600, so 0600, that takes 6 hours. And lastly, we go from here to 06:15, okay, and that takes 15 minutes. And now adding up all the time lengths, we start with the hours first. So 2 hours plus 6 hours is 8 hours. And then 40 minutes plus 15 minutes is 55 minutes. That's it, done. Now, number 2. In the diagram, AB equals AC and then BN equals NC. So by default, this is most likely an isosceles triangle, yeah? Complete the statement using a mathematical term. So triangle ABN, so from this side here, is something to triangle ACN. Now if you look at both of these sides, they have the same lengths all around, so we can definitely say that these two triangles must be identical. But you can't use the word identical. Another word that has the same meaning as identical is congruent. Now congruence is literally another word for identical, and that's all you need to know. Okay, never use the word similar, because similar literally means it's proportionally bigger. So this is one triangle. A similar triangle would be something like this, with the exact same proportional lengths. Okay, so this would just be a scale factor of something else, of the other triangle. So number 3. What type of correlation does the scatter diagram show? So a trend that is useful to remember is that if you're going downwards, then this is a negative correlation. There's other possible correlations such as the positive, which shoots upwards, meaning for instance, as time goes up, energy consumption goes up. Or there's something known as no correlation, where you can't figure out what's happening to the data. This case is clear. As time goes up, energy drops, so it's definitely negative. Okay, number 4. Work out this standard form sum and give your answer in standard form. Okay, so in this case, literally just smash this in the calculator. So you've got 6.4 times 10 to the power 7. And make sure you can put the bracket as well. I wouldn't bother changing anything they write. Now, some calculators will give you the full answer. My calculator gives me a result of 736, and I get about 5 zeros. To write an answer in standard form, it's always going to be one digit, point something. So in this case, it would be 7 point and then 36 times 10 to the power something. Now to work out what the power is, it's just the number digits after the main digit 7. So we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 digits, so it'll be 10 to the power 7. Okay, number 5. Expand and simplify this double bracket. To do this kind of double brackets, all you do is simply use the FOIL method, which tells us that we multiply every single term with each other. So 3x with 2x, and 3x with 9, and then minus 7 with 2x, and minus 7 with 9. And if you do that step by step, so doing the top halves first, you got 3x times 2x is 6x squared, 3x times 9 is plus 27x, and then minus 7x plus 2x is minus 14x. Lastly, minus 7 times 9, minus 63. And then collect any like terms, and by the way, it's always the middle two terms. 27x minus 14x is 13x. So your final answer is going to be 6x squared plus 13x minus 63. Easy. Now, number 6. So the bearing of A from B is 227 degrees. So what this means is that at point B, where you're facing directly north, the bearing is always the angle from the north line, okay? So it's traveling from B, an angle of 227 degrees to A. That's what bearing is. You always look at the from B part to A. Now, the next bit is find the bearing of B from A. So we start at A, draw a north sign because we always draw a north arrow. And we go from A and we're going to go clockwise to B. So one thing I forgot to mention, you always travel clockwise, yeah? So now we just work out what this angle is. Well, if we know what this angle is, 227 degrees, we can work out the interior angle here. Because what we need to know is that all angles around the point adds up to 360. So what we could do is subtract 227 from 360 to work out this angle here. And this will give us 133 degrees. And therefore, if this is 133, we can realize that these two angles sum up to make 180 degrees. So this is a type of, what's it called, allied angles, okay, in this format. So it's always two parallel lines, let's say A and B, and this sum up to make 180 degrees. So we can subtract 180 from 133 to get 47 degrees. And therefore, the answer is going to be here, 47 degrees. And by the way, because you're working a bearing, it has to be 3 digits. So it'll be 047. Okay? Okay, number 7. Y is inversely proportional to x cubed. Okay, keyword here is proportional. This is represented by something known as equals k, some scale factor, yeah? So we can say that as an equation, this would be y is proportional equals k to the inverse of x cubed. So k over x cubed. That's what the inverse is. If it was directly proportional, it would be k times x cubed. So that's what they want us to do. Now the next line is, when x equals 2, y is 0.5. Let's go ahead and plug this in so we can find the value k. So we can have y, which is 0.5, equals k over 2 cubed. Now to find k, just times 2 cubed across. So you go 0.5 times 2 cubed equals k. And then putting on your calculator, you're simply going to get 4. So k equals 4. Now this is good because the question wants us to find y in terms of x. Well, we had it over here, but the problem is you had the letter k. So now you know k is 4. It's going to be y equals 4 over x cubed. And that's the equation they want. Okay, number 8. Safia has a barrel containing 6,000 milliliters of oil, correct to 100 milliliters. Okay, before we move on, when they say something like correct to some measurement, it means that this value has definitely been rounded up or down. Now we need to have some sort of bounds because that's what this is about. So the best way to do this is to look at the nearest 100 bit and then cross it out and write half of 100, which is plus minus 50. So that means the barrel could have contained something which was 50 above or 50 below, and that has a difference of 100. So that's what the nearest 100 could be. So we can say that the upper bound of the barrel would be 6,000 plus 50, which is 6 over 50, and the lower bound would be 6,000 minus 50, which would be 5,950. Okay, so far so good. Next line. She uses the oil to fill bottles which each hold exactly 50 milliliters. Alright? Calculate the upper bound for the number of bottles she can fill. So upper bound means you want to pick the bigger value and see how much you can exactly fit. So because she wants to put 50 in each one, let's divide the upper bound by 50, yeah? And if you do that, you'll get a value of 121 bottles. Okay, number 9. So Jan invests $800 at a rate of 3% per year, simple interest. So, and by the way, guys, simple interest is not the same as compound interest, yeah? That's one key thing to remember. Now, calculate the value of investment at the end of 4 years. So simple interest, the way it works is that for every year, you just multiply by the number of years, the rate by the number of years. So because we've got 4 years, 3 times 4 is 12. So that means 800 is going to increase by 12%. So it'll just be 800 times 1.12. This is the shortcut method, yeah? And when you do that, you get $896. Done. So the water tank in the shape of a cuboid has length 1.5 meters and width 1 meter. The water in the tank is 60 centimeters deep. So we've already got 2 different units. Calculate the number of liters of water in the tank. Now to find the number of liters, and because we're working with centimeters and meters, the relationship between them is that 1 liter is equal to 1,000 centimeter cubed. Okay, so personally, because you're working in centimeter cube, it's good to convert these upper units into centimeters. So let's do it. So in the shape of the cuboid, we know that the water in the tank is 60 centimeters deep, so let's put 60 here. To convert these two into centimeters, just multiply them by 100. So 100 times 1.5 is 150, and 100 times 1 is 100. In order to calculate the number of liters of water in this tank, we need to find the volume. And the volume of the cuboid is just multiplying all these 3 digits across. So 60 times 100 times 150 will give us, in the calculator, 900,000. Okay, and this is 900,000 centimeter cubed. Now notice how they want answers in liters. So to go from centimeter cubed to liters, we need to divide it by 1,000. So dividing by 1,000, you're going to get 900 liters. And that's it. Okay, number 11. These are the first 5 terms in a sequence. So we've got 8, 11, 14, 17, 20. So we can see they're always going up in threes. Okay. Find the next term. Easy. So add 3 to 20, you get 23. Yeah. B. Find an expression for the nth term. Now the nth term has a unique formula, but I'm just going to show you a super easy way to do it, so you don't even need to use a formula. So to find the nth term, just find what the common difference is, which is 3, so it'll be 3n. And then a nice trick is, since we know it's plus 3 across, we can go back by 3 to find something known as the 0th term. And if you subtract 3, you get 5, so it'll be plus 5. And that's it, guys. You're done number 11. Okay, number 12. Find the integer values of n, and by the way, integer is a keyword which literally means whole numbers, that satisfies the inequality of which tells us that we've got 4n between 2 values. Now, as always, the best way to solve this is always try and make n the subject, or x, or whatever you're finding, yeah? And to make n the subject, let's go ahead and divide everything by 4, just to simplify this equation, yeah? So 28 divided by 4 gives us 7. 15 divided by 4, put in decimal, you get 3.75. Now, all they really want is the whole numbers between these values, yeah? So between 3.75 and 7, we have an n values of 4, 5, and 6. Now, if this question said less than equals 7, you would include the 7 too. But because it's just less, in other words, they don't include 7, we don't include 7. Okay, next question. So this one is a bit different to other questions. The main reason is that I would have to draw and do some construction, which is actually quite challenging on the computer. So what I'm going to do is show you guidelines to how to do it and how to get the answer. So I hope this question proves to be useful. So let's have a look. So the diagram shows a triangle ABC and an arc with a center C and radius 6.5. So we're talking about the radius from C to here. So I've already gone ahead and measured it, and this is exactly 6.5 centimeters, yeah? So it's even good to label it. Okay, from here to here. Now, using a straight edge and a compasses only, construct the locus of points. So locus means like a distance away from lines inside the triangles that are equidistant from BA to BC. Now, the only thing you have to really be concerned about is equidistant. Equidistant literally means 2 lengths which are equal in distance. So you want to find pretty much a split between BA and BC. So we're looking at something visually that looks a bit like this. Okay, that's what we were looking for, but yeah, that's kind of bent. Now to do this, the key idea is to place this compass over here on the edge of B, the pin on B, and literally spin it around any distance, doesn't matter how long the compass has to be. Put your pencil here and then mark a semicircle. So let's do like an arch, like over here. And it should cut over here as well. Okay, now all you want to do is again put your compass here and then draw another arc. So this time an arc over here, and then again put the compass over here and then draw another arc crossing over here. And then what should happen is that when you draw your arc should intersect at some point, and this point over here you draw a straight line from B and it will connect. I mean, this is quite bent, but it will connect, and then you can literally extend the line, and eventually you're going to get a distance equal from BA to BC. So this is split in the middle with equal angles here. And if you do that, it will look a bit like this. Okay, this is the correct form. Okay, so from here to here. So let's assume that these two are all the same angles, yeah? Okay, so that's part A done. Now part B. Shade the region inside a triangle that is more than 6.5 centimeters from C. So remember, you got the radius from here, all of here. So all of this is a radius of 6.5, thankfully. So more than that, so we can't include this region, so it has to be outside here. And nearer to BA than to BC. Well, BA is this top line, so they want to shade this region here. Yeah, and that's it. That's all you have to do, guys. We do not shade the other regions because this part is nearer to BA and is greater than 6.5 centimeters from the radius of point C.